Welcome back to Trekzone Plays. Matt Miller with you at Trekzone HQ, continuing my playthrough of Star Trek, the 25th Anniversary Edition game from 1992 and into play. Man, I love this game. On this edition, it's titled That Old Devil Moon.
Retro games with no commentary. This is Trekzone Plays.
That old devil moon.
Message from Starfleet, sir.
On screen, Lieutenant.
The Enterprise will proceed to the Alpha Proxima system. While the indigenous race on Proxima 3 has not reached a technological level commensurate with entering the Federation, and therefore under the protection of the Prime Directive of non-interference, we do maintain a discrete monitoring satellite. It has picked up activity from an asteroid in an elliptical orbit. You are to investigate without interfering with life on the planet.
According to the library computer, the Alpha Proxima system has 5 planets and an asteroid belt. A large asteroid is heading towards the inner planets and should pass close by Proxima 3. It passes through the interior of the system once every 200 years. The people of Proxima 3 call it Scythe, the same name as their god of war.
God of War, Mr. Spock? Isn't that a bit surprising from a people whose technology matches 20th century Earth?
Considering the level of warfare during that century, I'm surprised that it is Earth that did not have a god of war. In any case, about a millennium ago, Proxima 3 suffered a globally devastating war.
Blew themselves back to the Stone Age, Mr. Spock?
Late Bronze Age, Ensign. They rebuilt their world in half the time it had taken to get there originally. But the Armageddon was mythologized as a battle between the Sophs and Lucres. In that war, the planet was raised, and all the gods died except Scythe. He had rained fury down upon the world, then went off on a long dance of victory. His return is a time for worldwide soul-searching and atonement.
And Scythe returns and our monitoring station picks up activity.
It would seem that we should proceed to Alpha Proxima and scan Scythe.
Proxtre, the third planet in the Alpha Proxima system. This Class M planet is widely habitable except for zones of extreme radioactivity on the southern continent. About 1,000 years ago, the two dominant political systems, the Lucres and the Sophs, engaged in a nuclear war that resulted in the deaths of 3/4 of the world's population through direct or collateral damage. Proxtre's current civilization is non-spacefaring and does not have contact with the Federation. Scythe, a large asteroid in an elliptical orbit in the Alpha Proxima system. Spectral analysis of its composition indicates that it has minimal atmosphere and that it was once a moon of the planet Proxtre, hurled out of its orbit by a catastrophe. The 17th letter of the Lucre alphabet is named Scythe, probably not by coincidence. Sophs, one of the two ancient races of Proxtre. They lived in a highly advanced culture that valued the community ahead of the individual, which put them in conflict with the Lucres. The Sophs used base 4 in their mathematics, and their organization was based on units of 4 to make up sets of 100. Lucres, one of the two ancient cultures of Proxtre. See Sophs. The Lucres believed that a man who made the most of his ability was a god. Their individualism put themselves at odds with the communitarianism of the Sophs. The Lucres used base 3. Their organization was based on units of 3, making up sets of 99. The number 99 was known to have religious importance to them.
Topic not available, Captain.
Base 3, the mathematical basis for the Lucre culture. There are 3 numbers in base 3, 0, 1, and 2. Thus 3 in base 3 is 1, 0. 4 is 1, 1. 5 is 1, 2. 6 is 2, 0. 9 is 1, 0, 0. 17 is 1, 2, 2. And 99 is 1, 0, 2, 0, 0. Base 4, the mathematical basis for the Sophs culture. There are 4 numbers in base 4, 0, 1, 2, and 3. Thus 4 in base 4 is 1, 0. 7 is 1, 3. 8 is 2, 0. 12 is 3, 0. And 16 is 1, 0, 0.
Entering standard orbit.
A sensor scan of Psi reveals surface features consistent with damage left by a nuclear attack. It would seem to have been a target during Proxima's war.
Psi rained fury down on the planet and then left on a dance of victory. A missile base, Captain?
It would seem to make sense.
Captain, I just monitored a narrow beam message from Scythe to Proxima 3. I don't have it all. I just caught a bit of the initial burst. I'm attempting a translation, but it appears to be a computer code.
Any response from the planet?
The Proxtrites will not have the equipment necessary to understand and reply to that code for another 25.6 years at their present rate of development.
Spock, come with me. Mr. Scott, you have the comm.
Captain, Mr. Scott wishes to speak with you.
Mr. Scott?
Aye, we've had some slight problems with the transporters.
We didn't notice anything beaming down.
Just a glitch in the main transporter program. Mr. Kyle is loading a backup and we're performing tests. The transporters will be down for about an hour.
That will still give us plenty of time, Scotty.
I know. I have the lads in engineering doing a complete overhaul of the ship's systems.
Good, Mr. Scott. I'll keep you posted. Kirk out.
As expected, Captain, the source of power emanations lies beyond that door.
A power source that has lasted millennia and endured major catastrophes. That's fascinating, Mr. Spock.
Do you have Vulcan blood, Ensign?
No, sir.
The rocks have a high quantity of triphosphorus silver in them. Large quantities of atmosphere are being circulated through these rocks. I would guess there are storage units within this satellite which are constantly replacing the atmosphere that is lost because of this moon's weak gravity.
Which means that this moon might still be inhabited, Mr. Spock.
We have detected no signs of life, Captain, but the possibility does exist. I cannot get readings from this range, Captain, but if we do not hurry, there will be nothing left to get a reading on.
It's what I was afraid of, Jim. The thin atmosphere of this moon doesn't provide enough protection from cosmic rays. We shouldn't stay here any more than a few hours.
You fail to obtain anything. You retrieve a rock.
Captain, I'm afraid we've got a wee problem here.
What is it, Scotty?
There is some sort of virus in the main computer. Our phasers and tractor beams have been disabled, and there's no way we're getting them back in 3 hours.
There goes our backup plan. Do what you can, Mr. Scott.
Aye, I will, Captain. I may yet have a trick or two that I can pull, but don't count on any miracles.
Isolate that virus. That's your #1 priority.
That it is, Captain. We'll keep you informed. Scott out.
Working display panel, Captain. I see you deduced that 10200 in the Lucre's Base 3 was equal to their sacred number 99.
Report, Scotty. How are things going?
About as badly as a killed in a blast furnace, Captain. Wait a minute. Lieutenant Uhura has some news for you.
The virus came from our sensor sweep of the moon's computers. We believe we have analyzed the memory sectors it attacked.
Well done, Uhura.
I wish I could take credit for it. It was Mr. Kyle who found the pattern. We are attacking it with antivirus programs.
Computer science sounds more like medicine every day.
If we had a doctor as good with computers as you are with patients, we'd be having a lot fewer problems.
Finally, someone who appreciates me.
Keep working at it, Uhura. Kirk out.
A computer terminal, Captain. It uses the Lucre alphabet. I think I can decipher it. This door is similar to the one on the outside of the secure lock, except that it has not weathered over the years. Electrical panels indicate the keypad on the right controls the door. The interior of the security lock is unremarkable and well preserved. Fascinating. If the Federation language studies were correct, the ideograph for the word scythe in the Lucre's language is the 17th symbol in their alphabet that corresponds with 122 in base 3.
Captain, we have a cure for the computer virus.
Well done, Uhura.
I modified Cuthrell C to exclusively attack the Lucre virus. They annihilated each other, Captain.
Fascinating, Lieutenant.
The Klingons aren't going to be happy to learn that they helped us. How about the phasers and tractor beams?
We may get the tractor beams online in time, Captain. I'm afraid even the backup phaser transmission codes were affected. We could destroy some missiles manually, but if this complex decides to launch more than 10 missiles at a time...
Understood. The ball is in our court. We'll give it our best shot. Kirk out.
This door is made from remarkably dense alloys. Even our most powerful phaser rifle or welder would not be able to penetrate it.
The thing must be almost as tough as a starship hull.
Indeed, Ensign, and considerably thinner. A remarkable achievement in metallurgical engineering. Nothing to report, Captain. This panel has a slot in it rather than a keypad. The slot bears traces of triphosphorus silver, and power is currently running to it. I am recording the pattern of this lock into my tricorder. Circuits and atmosphere pumps are hidden in the walls.
Can't say I like the decor.
The Lucres did not leave behind many examples of their architecture.
I can see why.
Captain, with the 3K AG content of the surface rocks and the tricorder scan of the pattern inside the lock, I believe the laser drill can be used to fashion the ID card needed to open the sealed door in the other chamber. The drill is unremarkable, except its aiming component is corroded and frozen in place. The mine shaft was drilled out of the lunar rock by a laser device, similar to the one mounted in the ceiling. I used the keycard pattern scanned from the lock to program the drill. It should now be able to make a template of the keycard in the rock. This appears to be the brain of Scythe. There are two identical but isolated computers that communicate with a third, which controls the launch of missiles. This computer directly controls the missile launch system. There is no way to interface with it directly, but the other two computers are accessible. A crude uranium-235 nuclear device with lithium-beryllium shells to increase heavy particle fallout. A crude uranium... This computer is functional and performing an average 1.2 million operations per second. This computer is functional and performing an average 0.75 million operations per second.
Welcome to Side Operations Center, Alpha Unit. Estimated time to optimal launch range is 3.21 hours adjusted. Welcome to Side Operations Center, Omega Unit. Estimated time to optimal launch range is 1.31 hours adjusted.
Captain, something is wrong with the computers. They may be twins, but they are not identical.
It appears they are out of sync, Captain. I have to assume the Alpha unit has a virus, which is using up an incredible amount of computing time.
They report different optimum launch times, which is right.
Given the elliptical orbit and the range at which they will pass Proxtree, the Omega unit is correct, but the window is very narrow. A variation of minutes will mean the missiles run out of fuel and fall harmlessly into the sun.
Can you reprogram the Lucas computer to give us that time, Mr. Spock?
Reprogramming an old alien computer is not simple, Captain. The odds against success are 10,221 to 1 against.
Too bad old Omega here couldn't just take a sick day and miss the firing.
Because the two machines are isolated, the virus did not spread from one to the other.
If we could only bridge them.
The connector snaps into place.
Welcome to Side Operations Center, Alpha Unit. Estimated time to optimal launch range is 3.21 hours adjusted. Welcome to Side Operations Center, Omega Unit. Estimated time to optimal launch range is 1.54 hours adjusted.
The launched missiles will run out of fuel before they reach Proxtree. They will drift into the sun and burn up.
Kirk to Enterprise, how are the transporters, Scotty?
They're operational again, Captain. We're ready to bring you back at any time.
Bring us home.
Message from Starfleet.
On screen, Lieutenant.
We have read your report on the problems at Proxima 3 and evaluate your performance at 96%. You and your crew received 3 commendation points. The top brass at Starfleet are impressed. Outstanding work, Jim.
Hard to believe that Earth came so close to the brink itself.
Vulcans, too. Both, in the end, looked into the abyss and came to the only logical conclusion.
Logic? Humans? I'm dreaming, Jim.
Sometimes it is harder and braver to make peace rather than war.
Sounds like emotion had its part to play in a positive sense, too.
I don't know about you, but I'd like to bid an emotional goodbye to Alpha Proxima myself.
Take us out of orbit, Mr. Sewell.